In a quiet village nestled between towering hills, life once thrived under clear skies and fertile lands. The people of the village lived simply, tilling the soil and tending their livestock with gratitude for the bountiful gifts of nature. But all that changed when the rains stopped. The once vibrant fields turned to dust, the streams dried up, and the earth cracked under the unrelenting heat of the sun. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, without a single drop of rain. The village elders, wise but bound by ancient traditions, gathered at the sacred grove to seek answers. They concluded that the drought was a punishment from the rain spirits. To appease the spirits and bring back the rains, a sacrifice was needed, a life offered to cleanse the land. The grim decision weighed heavily on the village, but fear of further suffering silenced most objections. The elders chose a young maiden named Abina, known for her kindness and purity, as the sacrifice. Her parents wept but dared not defy the elders' decree. The villagers prepared for the solemn ritual, their hearts heavy with sorrow, but resigned to the fate tradition demanded. Among them was Tano, a spirited boy with bright eyes and a fierce sense of justice. Tano was known for questioning things others accepted without thought. He couldn't understand why the rain spirits would demand a human life for water. As preparations for the sacrifice continued, anger bubbled within him. "This cannot be right," he muttered to himself. "There must be another way." On the morning of the sacrifice, the village gathered at the sacred grove. The air was thick with tension as Abina, draped in ceremonial cloth, stood silently beside the altar. Her gaze remained steady, though tears glistened in her eyes. The head elder raised his staff, signaling the start of the ritual. Before the chant could begin, Tano stepped forward, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "This is wrong," he shouted. "Why should we sacrifice Abina for something that isn't her fault? The rain spirits are not angry. We need to find another solution." Gasps rippled through the crowd. No one had ever dared to interrupt such a sacred ceremony. The head elder's face darkened with anger. "Silence, boy," he commanded. "You speak out of turn." But Tano did not back down. "If Abina dies today, what will stop the spirits from asking for more lives tomorrow? We need wisdom, not sacrifice." The elders whispered among themselves, their expressions grim. One elder spoke up. "If you believe there is another way, Tano, then prove it. But until you do, this is the only path we know." Driven by determination, Tano declared, "I will go to the sacred mountain and speak to the spirits myself. I will find a way to bring the rain without bloodshed." The village erupted in disbelief. The sacred mountain was a place of legend and danger, home to spirits both kind and cruel. No one had ventured there and returned. The head elder shook his head. "You are a foolish boy, but if your heart compels you, then go. We will delay the sacrifice until the next full moon. If you do not return, Abina will be offered." Tano's parents tried to dissuade him, their faces itched with worry. But Tano's resolve was unshakable. "If I don't try, we'll lose Abina. And who knows what will happen to us next?" With a simple farewell, he set off on his journey, armed only with a small bag of provisions and the blessings of his mother. The path to the sacred mountain was treacherous. Thorny bushes tore at his clothes, and jagged rocks cut into his feet. The sun blazed mercilessly, but Tano pressed on, driven by the thought of saving Abina and his village. As night fell, strange sounds echoed through the trees, whispers carried by the wind and the rustle of unseen creatures. Tano's heart pounded, but he reminded himself that fear would not help him. On the third day, he reached the foot of the mountain. Its peak disappeared into swirling clouds, and the air buzzed with a strange energy. Legends spoke of spirits who guarded the mountain, testing the hearts of those who dared to climb. Tano took a deep breath and began his ascent. The climb was steep and unforgiving. Loose stones threatened to send him tumbling with every step. At one point, a misstep caused him to slide down a rocky slope, scraping his arms and legs. Pain seared through him, but he gritted his teeth and kept going. "I must do this," he whispered to himself. As he neared the summit, a dense fog enveloped him, obscuring the path. Suddenly a figure emerged from the mist, an old man with a staff carved from twisted wood. His eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. "Why have you come, boy?" the old man asked, his voice deep and resonant. "I seek a way to bring rain to my village without sacrificing a bina," Tano answered boldly. The old man studied him for a long moment before nodding. "Many have come seeking rain, but few have been willing to pay the true price. Are you prepared for what lies ahead?" "I will do whatever it takes," Tano vowed. "Very well," the old man said. He struck the ground with his staff, and the fog parted to reveal a narrow bridge suspended over a chasm. "Cross this bridge and you will find the answers you seek. But beware, the spirits will test your heart." Tano stepped onto the bridge, his steps careful and deliberate. The wind howled around him, and the rope swayed under his weight. Halfway across, shadows rose from the depths of the chasm, taking the form of writhing creatures. Their voices hissed and taunted him. "You are too weak," they sneered. "Turn back before it is too late." Fear clutched at Tano's heart, but he clenched his fists and pressed on. "I will not give up," he shouted into the wind. "My village depends on me." The shadows dissolved, their mocking laughter fading into silence. Tano reached the other side of the bridge, breathless but victorious. The old man stood waiting, a look of approval in his glowing eyes. "You have courage, boy," he said. "But courage alone is not enough. The rain spirits demand unity and sacrifice of a different kind, one that comes from the heart, not from blood." Before Tano could respond, the ground trembled beneath his feet. The sky darkened, and a chilling wind swept through the air. The old man's expression turned grave. "The spirits have awakened, and they are not pleased. You must prove your worth by facing them." As thunder rumbled in the distance and unseen forces stirred the air, Tano realized that his journey was far from over. The real test had only just begun. Dark clouds churned above as lightning cracked across the sky. Suddenly, 3 towering figures emerged from the swirling storm, the rain spirits themselves. Their forms shifted between water, wind, and shadow, and their eyes glowed with ancient power. "Why do you challenge our will, mortal?" the first spirit demanded, its voice a tempest that shook the mountain. "I do not challenge your will," Tano declared, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. "I seek to understand why the rains have stopped. My village suffers, and I want to help without the cost of innocent blood." The second spirit, a swirling column of wind, narrowed its glowing eyes. "You think a mere child can dictate the balance of nature?" "No," Tano admitted, "but I believe there must be harmony between us. Sacrifice should not be the answer. If unity is what you desire, show me how to achieve it." The spirits conferred among themselves, their forms merging and twisting in the storm. Finally, the third spirit, a shadowy figure with piercing eyes, stepped forward. "Very well," it said. "We will give you a task, a test of your heart and resolve." "What must I do?" Tano asked, his resolve unwavering. The spirit gestured to the sky. "You must find the ancient stone of balance hidden deep within this mountain. Only by placing it in the sacred grove can the rains return without bloodshed. But beware, for the path to the stone is fraught with peril, and only a pure heart can withstand the trials ahead." Tano nodded solemnly. "I will find the stone." As the spirits faded back into the storm, The old man appeared by Tano's side. "Your journey is far from over, brave one. But remember, it is not just courage that will guide you, but compassion and wisdom as well." With determination burning brighter than ever, Tano turned toward the dark cavern that led deeper into the mountain. He knew the road ahead would be perilous, but he also knew that the fate of his village rested on his shoulders. Each step he took echoed with purpose, for Tano was no longer just a boy from the village. He was a beacon of hope. And as the mountain loomed before him, shrouded in shadow and mystery, Tano vowed to see his journey through, no matter what it took. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, let us know your views in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more enchanting tales, just like this one.